I'm a 49-year-old Gen Xer. But it took me 46 years before I finally stopped giving a damn what people thought about me. And here's what I learned. Don't waste your life like I did. I was a 19-year-old young man when I became a father for the first time. And I spent the majority of my 20s and 30s trying to prove to everybody that I didn't screw up. I didn't make a mistake. And in doing so, I did what I thought society required of me. I got as good of a job as I could at that young of an age with no college whatsoever, save one semester. I went to work every day. We got an apartment. We got cars. We did the best we could with what we were given and what we had. According to society, I was doing it right. Good job, good dad, and was in general just a good family. But I was miserable. And I was miserable because I was living as this shell of a human being that wasn't me. And I was unable to, or so I thought, pursue the things that I wanted. It was no longer about me. I had responsibilities and I had expectations to live up to. So that's what I spent my time doing. And that's what I spent a lot of my time worrying about when I'd lay in bed at night trying to go to sleep. And all those things that you worry about as a young parent seem to be magnified when the lights go out and you're alone with your thoughts. And those were the things that occupied my mind for years. And when I say years, I mean decades. I was pretty much living like an imposter in my own life. I just wasn't me. I wasn't the person that you see today. Let's put aside the generational wars for a moment and let's stop discussing and talking about who had it worse, Gen X or Gen Z, or who had it harder or who had it easier or who had it better. The truth is that none of us had an instruction manual. That's a universal truth that we all share. Nobody got an instruction booklet that taught us what to do and when to do it. All we ever got, and the one thing we share, is the grind. We all were faced with a limitless string of possibilities called life, and it was up to each of us to figure out what to do with it. So I did the best I could, and I spent my 20s and 30s trying to figure out life with the limited information that I had and the limited abilities I had. Then 2021 hit, and I was 46 years old. And if you looked at the first half of 2021 on paper, you would think it was the worst year of my entire life. And in all reality, it probably was. But the good thing that came out of that was that the beginning of 2021 kicked me so hard that my give a damn finally broke. I was no longer going to hold myself to the standards of other people who didn't matter in my life. And that's where the first of many interesting lessons happened, which was when you stop performing for the crowd, a crowd that doesn't matter, your life gets infinitely better. You see, 2021 for me was like boot camp for those of you who have gone through the military. I never did, but I had a conversation with my cousin years ago about where he got this confidence from and how he developed it. I mean, we're from the same genetic code, and he just exudes confidence in everything he does. He's just one of those people that when you meet him, you know, that man's got his shit together. And then you meet me and you hear my life story up until 2021, and I would often get the, oh, looks, right? So in a conversation with him, and I asked him point blank, where did you get that from? And he told me it was the military. He joined the Navy out of high school, and he told me that the whole purpose of boot camp, the whole experience is designed to break you. It is designed to break you in two and bring you down to the lowest possible version of yourself. Broken, shattered, just done. But they do that so that they can build you back up the right way. They can give you the fundamentals to then bring out that confidence in yourself, because you are now standing on a very solid foundation of principles and life lessons and things, just basic things you need to know. And for me, 2021 was my boot camp. I got broken down to where I was just done and a shell of who I was, but a shattered shell. And I spent the next few months piecing myself back together and building that foundation on my own, with some help from people around me who knew better and who I trusted. It wound up being the best year of my life because of that. I spent the time to build myself back up in the way that I have always wanted to be and how I always wanted to live my life. And with that came the confidence to live that way on purpose and know that this is the right way for me. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from 2021 for me, is that you have to spend that time alone. You have to spend that time with no noise, nobody telling you what you should and shouldn't do, or who you should and shouldn't be, or what you should or shouldn't want to pursue in your life. You have to essentially isolate yourself from the world and spend that time getting to know the real you. And then once you do that and you understand who you are, figure out what you want, what you really want, what is important to you. Then you go forward and you be that person. You go forward and you get that thing. I wasted years not pursuing and doing what I wanted. I'm 49 years old now as of recording this video. And I feel the clock. I feel that clock on my shoulder just ticking and ticking and ticking. And it makes me wonder, is it too late? Will I have enough time to reach those goals that I am passionate about? And that single thought led me to the biggest plot twist of the entire story. And the messed up part is that this lesson that I learned is something that had been floating around me all my life. It literally was in the books and poetry and movies and music that I was so familiar with, but that for some reason never really struck a chord with me like it did until towards the end of the year of 2021. See, we set these goals for ourselves, or these expectations that we think Once we get there, then everything will be okay. But the reality is that once we get there, there's another goal. There's another plateau that has now come into our sight that now we want to pursue that. And goals and things like that and planning to reach those goals, they're what motivate us. They're what aim us, right? They're what give us direction and purpose in life. But the part where you can suck the marrow out of life happens between the start and finish of those goals. The screw-ups, the laughs, the tears, all of it is what makes up your life. And that is the meat of it all. Sadly, it's taken this Gen Xer far too long to realize that the reward is nice, but the road, that's where you live. Do not waste your life being a puppet to somebody else's expectations of you. Go out there and find your true self and find out what it is that you deep down really want to do with your life and what will make you happy. Then go out there, be that person, and do that thing, whatever it is. So I like to put things in a simple way to remember it. And I think the simplest way to encompass everything I've spoken about in this video is find you, chase that thing, and enjoy the mess. What's the one thing you'd chase if you stopped caring? Let me know below. I'm 49. I do get it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're ready to start living your life too. And as always, I'll see you in the comments section.